Why #Me Too and the falsely accused must unite in the UK. Believe the victim. My life was destroyed by a lie. Two statements, both born from real trauma. For years, the conversation around sexual violence in the UK has felt like a battlefield. On one side, you have the #Me Too movement, a global reckoning that finally gave millions of survivors a voice and exposed the true scale of sexual assault. On the other side, there's a growing chorus of the wrongfully accused, people whose lives were shattered by allegations later proven to be false. The media, the public, and even the justice system have treated these two groups as enemies in a zero-sum war. For one to win, the other must lose. But what if that whole narrative is a dangerous misdirection? What if the real battle line has been drawn in the wrong place? What if these two groups, set up as adversaries, are actually suffering at the hands of the exact same opponent? The real enemy isn't each other. It's a broken, under-resourced, and fundamentally dysfunctional justice system that is failing everyone. This is the story of why #Me Too survivors and the falsely accused in the UK, far from being enemies, must become the most powerful of allies. Their fight isn't with each other. It's for a system that can actually tell the difference between a victim and a liar, between guilt and innocence, and it's a fight they can only win together. In the war for justice, two armies are fighting on the wrong battlefield. Their true enemy is the same broken system that pits them against each other. This is why they must unite. To really get this, you have to walk in the shoes of those the system is supposed to protect. So let's talk about a composite story, based on the experiences of thousands of survivors in the UK. We'll call her Anna. Anna's story doesn't start with the assault. It starts with the moment she decides to report it. A decision filled with fear, as organizations like Rape Crisis will tell you. The vast majority of sexual assaults go unreported. Why? Shame, fear of being disbelieved, and terror of the process itself. Anna pushes past all that. She tells herself that seeking justice is the right thing to do. It's her first act of courage, but it won't be her last. She goes to the police. The interview is daunting. She has to recount the worst moment of her life in a sterile room to strangers. While some officers are empathetic, many survivors say they feel like they're the ones under suspicion from the get-go. Her credibility is instantly on trial. Were you drinking? What were you wearing? Why did you go there with him? These questions are echoes of pervasive rape myths, toxic ideas that the Law Commission has identified as a key barrier to justice. They wrongly blame victims and create a culture of disbelief that poisons the entire process. After the interview, Anna is told there'll be an investigation, and then the wait begins. Not days or weeks. In the UK today, this wait can stretch into years. She's told they need her phone for evidence. This practice, often called a digital strip search, is now common. Every message, every photo, every private corner of her digital life is scrutinized to find anything that could undermine her credibility. A text taken out of context, a picture that doesn't fit the idea of a perfect victim. For many, this feels like a second violation. The End Violence Against Women Coalition has pointed out how this practice makes survivors feel like they, not the suspect, are the ones being investigated. As the months turn into a year or more, the silence from the police is deafening. Anna is left in limbo, her life on pause. The trauma of the assault is now compounded by the trauma of the process. She calls for updates and gets vague answers. It's with the CPS. These things take time. Time, it's the most corrosive element in our justice system. As of late 2025, the Crown Court backlog was over 78,000 cases. For sexual offenses, The delay is brutal. Government watchdogs found that from reporting to a potential trial, a survivor could wait nearly 2 years. One victim in that report endured 21 court delays, often with less than 24 hours notice. During this agonizing wait, Anna's mental health falls apart. She's plagued by anxiety and depression. The system that was meant to deliver justice is instead just prolonging her suffering. She thinks about dropping the case. Many do. Home Office data for the year ending March 2025 shows a huge percentage of rape cases are closed due to evidential difficulties, and a big part of that is the victim withdrawing support. It's not because they were lying. It's because the process itself is unendurable. Let's say Anna perseveres. Her case gets charged. The initial charge rate for rape in the year ending March 2025 was just 2.8%, though this figure can rise slightly as cases progress. So she's one of the lucky few, but now she faces a trial, which might be another year away. When the day comes, she enters a courtroom only to have her character, memory, and motives relentlessly attacked. Her past relationships, the contents of her phone, her behavior after the assault, it's all used against her. In the end, maybe the jury returns a not guilty verdict, or the case collapses before one is even reached. For Anna, the outcome is the same. After years of fighting, of reliving her trauma, of putting her faith in the system, she's left with nothing. No justice, no closure, just the deep, scarring certainty that the system failed her. As some campaigners have put it, her experience is a testament to a failure so profound that it has, in effect, decriminalized rape in the UK. The falsely accused's nightmare. Justice destroyed. Now, let's look at the same system from a different, but just as terrifying perspective. Meet Tom. Tom is a university student with his whole future ahead of him. His nightmare starts with a knock on the door in the middle of the night. He's arrested on suspicion of rape. His world implodes. The accusation is from someone he knows. He is innocent, but in that moment, his innocence means nothing. He's taken to a police station, fingerprinted, DNA taken, and put in a cell. The shock is overwhelming. In the interview, he denies everything, trying to piece together the night through a fog of panic. He's released on bail, but he isn't free. He's now a suspect, and that label will control his life. His bail conditions are severe. He might be banned from his university, suspended from his job, or forbidden from contacting mutual friends. His name might not be public yet, but in his community, the rumors start. Friends vanish. His family is thrown into crisis. The life he had 24 hours ago is gone. Like Anna, Tom now enters that same agonizing limbo of a years-long investigation. He hands over his phone, knowing his private life will be picked apart. But he's waiting for exoneration, not justice. And the wait is just as long. He's on bail for months, then a year, then 2. Some people have spent years on bail before being cleared. This isn't just a delay, it's a form of punishment. The psychological toll is immense. Studies show the falsely accused suffer from severe anxiety, depression, paranoia, and PTSD. A survey by the Falsely Accused Support Organization found that a horrifying 72% of their respondents felt suicidal. Tom's family drains their savings and remortgages their home to afford lawyers. The financial ruin is catastrophic. He loses his job, his career prospects disappear, and the social stigma is suffocating. Even if he's cleared, the mud sticks. The engine of all this suffering is the same crippled justice system that failed Anna. The same backlogs that delay a survivor's trial also delay an innocent person's freedom. The same under-resourced police and CPS that struggle to build a case against a guilty person can also fail to properly investigate and dismiss a baseless one. The idea of innocent until proven guilty feels like a sick joke. From the moment he's accused, Tom feels the weight of presumed guilt. The #Me Too movement, while vital for genuine survivors, has also fed a climate where questioning an accuser is often seen as attacking a victim, putting the wrongfully accused in an impossible spot. Imagine that after 2 years of hell, his case is about to go to trial. His lawyer makes one last plea for the police to disclose all their evidence. And there it is, buried in thousands of pages of digital material that was never properly reviewed. Messages from the accuser to a friend, admitting the allegation was false. The case collapses. He is free. But what does that even mean? His reputation is destroyed. His mental health is shattered. His family is financially devastated. And there are no support services for him. No government apology. No resources to help him rebuild his stolen life. Organizations like the Falsely Accused Network and FASO are run by volunteers, a world away from state-funded support for complainants. Tom, just like Anna, was chewed up and spat out by the very same broken machine. The common enemy, a system in collapse. Anna's story and Tom's story. They start from opposite ends of a terrible event, but they end in the same place. Profound, life-altering injustice. Their anger is directed at what they can see. Anna might blame a legal system that seems to favor the accused. Tom will blame a culture that he feels sacrificed due process to believe the victim. They're taught to see each other as the enemy, but that's the system's most insidious trick. By pitting its victims against each other, it avoids any blame for its own catastrophic failures. The real enemy is the system itself, and it's not just me saying this. Legal experts, journalists, and reformers are all pointing to the same problems. These aren't separate issues for survivors and the accused. They're shared symptoms of a system in collapse. First and foremost, delays. Justice delayed is justice denied. That's not just a saying. It's the reality for both Anna and Tom. That Crown Court backlog of over 78,000 cases isn't just a number. It represents years of human lives in limbo. For a survivor, the delays are psychological torture. For an innocent person, those same delays are the slow-motion destruction of their life. Some trial dates are now being set for 2027, a timeline so long it makes a mockery of justice. Second, a chronic lack of resources. The entire justice system is starving. Years of austerity have hollowed out the police, the CPS, the courts, and legal aid. When police don't have specialist officers, investigations are flawed from the start. Guilty people walk free because evidence was missed, and innocent people get charged because exculpatory evidence was never found. The CPS is so overloaded that prosecutors make charging decisions on incomplete files. This system fails Anna by not building a strong case, and it fails Tom by not bothering to find the evidence that proves his innocence. Third, flawed investigations. The way evidence is gathered is broken, and it hurts everyone. Take the digital strip searches. For Anna, it's a gross invasion of privacy that puts her on trial. For Tom, the failure to properly analyze all that digital data could mean the one message proving his innocence is never found. The problem isn't just collecting evidence, it's the incompetent and biased way it's handled. Recent law commission proposals have tried to address this, recommending reforms to stop the influence of rape myths in court and ensure a fair trial for defendants, a balance the current system has completely lost. The trauma, the financial ruin, the loss of faith, these are not unique to one side. Both groups feel isolated and abandoned. Both are victims of a system so inefficient its main output is no longer justice, but human suffering. The battle lines are a fiction, the struggle is shared. The enemy is one, a united front for reform. So a survivor failed by the promise of protection, an innocent man destroyed by the promise of due process. The current narrative that pits them against each other is not only wrong, it's actively harmful. It allows a broken system to get away with it by having its victims fight each other. This has to stop. The only way forward is to build a bridge across this fabricated divide. It's time for #MeToo and the falsely accused to declare a ceasefire and aim their fire at the common enemy. When you strip away the angry rhetoric, their goals are identical. A justice system that is swift, thorough, and above all, accurate. A system that actually works. What does a united front look like? It looks like a joint campaign for real, specific reforms. It means jointly lobbying for a massive injection of funding into the entire justice pipeline. It means demanding that the Law Commission's recommendations are implemented in full, mandatory training on rape myths, new evidence rules, and specialist sexual offenses courts. It means advocating for independent bodies to review complaints about both victim treatment and the handling of false accusations. It means campaigning for properly funded support, not just for survivors but for the exonerated who are currently left to pick up the pieces alone. Charities like the Falsely Accused Network and Rape Crisis shouldn't be seen as opposing forces, but as two sides of the same coin, each dealing with the human fallout of the same systemic disaster. This won't be easy. It requires empathy. It requires advocates for survivors to acknowledge that while false accusations are statistically rare, their impact is devastating. It requires those fighting for the falsely accused to acknowledge the overwhelming reality of sexual violence and the disbelief that real victims face. It requires both sides to understand that a system that can't reliably convict the guilty is the exact same system that is at risk of condemning the innocent. A flawed process doesn't discriminate. It just fails. The fight for a just society can't be won from opposing trenches. It's time to look past the angry headlines and recognize the shared struggle of everyone who has been failed by British justice. The survivor waiting years for a trial and the innocent man waiting years to clear his name are not enemies. They are allies. By uniting, they can transform from victims of a broken system into the architects of a new one, a system that is actually worthy of the word justice. This conversation can't keep happening in silos. If you believe in a fair and effective justice system, share this story. Start a dialogue in the comments. Not about blame, but about solutions. How do we move forward together? The more we amplify this call for unity, the harder it will be for those in power to ignore the demand for change.